get to the point where you can actually you can duplicate people, that's a smart way to go. After you put a person in each department, you want to be able to have everybody understand everybody's job. So you should never fall short if everybody understands everybody's job. In my office, I have one person that does invoicing and payroll, but I have two other people that also knows what she does, so they can actually do what she does as well. This goes back to expenses and costs. If you're not in position to generate enough money, it's hard to be able to keep putting people in place to actually to have a good running office and being able to operate each department if you're not bringing in the income. And this go back to due diligence, where if you actually had all of the pieces in order, you have enough revenue coming in where you can bring people in. Because if not, you're going to have people piggybacking departments, which will exhaust them, and you could potentially lose people from that, or it won't work out the way you wanted to. And then you'll find yourself back in that position, doing what you did, you know, what you was a slave of, or you tried to remove yourself from to actually do it. Did that answer your question?
Right. So you got somebody to do payroll?
I have payroll, invoice.
Well, I just wanted to understand, you're going to need a mechanic, not somebody that got a shop, but you're going to need somebody that's working for you, so your maintenance costs will be down.
All right, look, I'll elaborate on that. So, I have a mechanic that I handpicked out that pretty much does all of the work in the immediate area. I have accounts where I deal with other mechanics to get the big jobs done. I have a yard guy that does all of the things that need to be done around the yard, all of the small issues that occur with any of the trailers, any nitpicking stuff, and he also is a runner. He gets parts and does all of that. I have a backup mechanic that's more of a senior mechanic, where he's older, but he oversees what my younger mechanic does now, where he's always kind of in queue, and he also drives for me. My office, I have one person doing invoicing and billing. I have another person organizing the paperwork for dispatching, and then I have one person that does compliance.
The reason I wanted to explain that to y'all, because you're gonna crash out trying to do it all yourself. This is not a drive. Once you start adding trucks, all that fun that was in the driving and being a truck driver and owner operator is out the window. I've known people to get ulcers, you know, trying to scale up and wind up selling all the equipment because it ain't even worth it. It's too much of a headache. Every little bit of peace of mind you think you got, you ain't even gonna be able to go to the bathroom without your phone ringing. So, you know, as slick as that may sound, having your phone blowing up all the time, it's going to bust a vessel in your brain if you're trying to do it all yourself, or if you got the wrong people on your team, or if your personality type don't suit doing it, because people gonna try you. And if you're a person that like to rise to the occasion, you're not going to last long doing this, because you're gonna wind up hurting somebody.
She had a question.
So when you transitioned from driver to owner, and then you started acquiring your trucks, did you have this plan before you implemented it, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You didn't? It was never your vision to have a fleet and everything?
That came in the process of the journey. Like, this wasn't my initial gate shot. Like, you know, I want to one day have multiple trucks, be a fleet owner, you know, and have my terminal and everything set up. That wasn't You
no,
know,
but I mean, did you have the plan? Like the plan to run the
no,
business? Like,
no.
This is what I do. This is who I need.
No.
This is, okay.
Now that's why I'm being very adamant about it right now. That is very important to do your due diligence before you put yourself in position. And you've acquired these things, and now you're running around because everybody don't have the stamina to stick it out. You know what I mean? Like, it is very difficult and complicated when you've already acquired all of these things and you're constantly getting nagged about every single issue, everything that's going on. You put people in place. I start putting people in place to remove me. Now they call me. You know what I'm saying? So you look at this person and you be like, well, I'm paying you to think. I'm paying you to be a barrier. I'm paying you to be a wall to prevent people from getting to me. And I'm paying you to bring me results. Go figure the problem out, whatever these issues is, solve the problem, and then let's talk about it later. Don't bring the problem to me after I just fought to put you in position to get me away from these 7, 8, 9, 10 people calling me, and then you still calling me with all their problems for me to figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's very important to do the due diligence beforehand. It's not as long as you think it is. A lot of people don't have the patience to sit down and actually go through the process of studying, putting their stuff together, writing out their plan, and saying, okay, I'm going to stick to this. Put yourself a vision board up and stick to it. That's pretty much it. And do not detour from it. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm sticking to, and I'm going to follow through with this. But a lot of people will turn around and they go the opposite way. And they say, you know what, I'm jumping on. I'm ready to do this now. And they go jump out there, and then you get into a situation where I was a victim of it as well. I pretty much acquired a lot that I stumbled into because I was moving around and I was making all these different adjustments. And a lot of this stuff was also a part of my process of staying in the game. It was survival. Each decision that I was making was a survival decision. And once I got to this point, I'm running around trying to get everything mapped out to the point where I can say, okay, I can remove myself. And you're trying to think and put all these plays together while you got a bunch of people calling, and it doesn't stop. Like, the day don't stop. Once the show is on and the ship set sail, if you ain't got these things in order, you either going to roll or you can get rolled over. There's no other way around it. You know, I had a question.
So to piggyback off of what she said, I'm guessing you saying if we did decide to go out there and get like multiple trucks and things like that, to kind of plan out what you want to do so it won't be as much of a headache like you ran into.
Yeah, because you're not going to escape the headache. You just want to put preventative maintenance in place. You want to put yourself in a position where if you put together a play and you got some plans in order, it will help minimize some of that blow. Okay. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to escape it. I done put people in place to avoid me getting called, and they call me with the issues. Why are you calling me?
You been in jail before? Oh, well, they got a term in there. Don't duck wreck. You can't duck your wreck. You can't avoid it. It's gonna happen.
Hold on, what you mean don't duck wreck?
Yeah. So you can't avoid the problems. What we trying to prepare you for is to be able, for one, know that they're coming, and to be able to deal with them with more ease. That's what I'm gonna be talking about. But the only way to get rid of it is to learn it yourself.
Okay.
Experience is the best teacher, but don't shy away from assistance and help.
Gotcha.
You got other people around you that know the game or that been there, that done it. At one point in time, I was a big ego tripper, where I was stuck in a certain phase where I didn't know how. I didn't know how to talk to people and ask for help or ask for advice. And sometimes the people that's at the top of the food chain, you'd be surprised how easily they're willing to give you the information. You know what I mean? Some people that really don't have what they trying to make you believe they have, those are the ones that want to be gatekeepers. You know what I mean? The people that
once you get too close, and then you're gonna see who they really is.
Yeah, or they don't, or they want to see you do good, but just not better than them.
Better than them, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you know what I mean? But it's one of them things where you can still make it work. It's very lucrative. You just have to put the plays together correctly. And it's not. And once you get into it, as me and my good brother have been talking about a couple of different times, like you can foresee it differently once you cross a certain point. But you got to get across that point, and the only way you're gonna make it to even see daylight to try to get there, you got to put together a plan. You got to put something together. You can stagger around. Everybody's not as fortunate to maneuver around it and make it work, because you still got to have resources. You still got to make certain adjustments. You still got to be in a certain space. Overhead got to still be a certain. You go out here and you think you're going to get one of these rider rental trucks, like some of these guys talking about, oh yeah, you know, I don't have no payment. You know, we got the rental trucks and, you know, we just put them to work. We out here, we getting to it. And you go to Ryder right now, they talking about $2,300 a month. You know, you might work something out and they say, oh, we can get it for $1,500, or you could do, then it's like, oh, well, you're cutting down the maintenance. They bringing you a truck right away, but do you have the work to sustain this equipment that you have?
I was paying Ryder, Penske, $2,100 a week because I was running so many miles. They don't there's a fixed cost, but then they also tack on the mileage. So it ain't no set price.
Yep.
You don't know the price until you get finished running.
Yep. A lot of it, I mean, it's still doable. It's just one of them things you got to just be in position to play. And don't think that I'm saying that you should only do this if you have a plan put together, because some of the plan is going to actually happen in the process. You know, through your experiences and trial and error, and you're going to be able to either reconfigure and add to your plan, or you'll just kind of be jotting some new things to add to elaborate on your plan that you have. That's pretty much it. But don't just run in there blind. These people are seeing a dollar sign from these guys and girls selling this information and not realizing that these people are really making the money, and all of the luxurious life that they living is from the information they're selling them. They're not getting nothing. It's nothing coming from that piece of equipment, because the amount of work that it takes to get the equipment to the point where you have enough drivers in it and for it to be profitable, people give up before they even reach that point. You know what I mean? So,
what's your take on the transition from owner operator to having your own authority? The biggest difference you saw when you jumped to the other side of the fence?
That is,
because a lot of them, when they get that first truck, they're gonna be starting off as owner operators. A lot of them not gonna start off with their own authority.
Okay, so nobody has their authority?
Some people do.
All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so I think the transition is more it's more mental. It's more mental than anything. The mental exhaustion is what you're going to get. The physical really is what it is. It's the mental process, because you're now going from a person that's driving on your day-to-day with things happening around you and that you don't have to pay attention to becoming a person that has to actually be a part of the visual structuring process. So that's a day-to-day operation. So it took a lot out of me mentally versus physically to actually make that adjustment, because you go through different phases. You know, we used to just saying, okay, get up, I'm gonna jump in the truck and I'm gonna ride. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, the further you go, the more you get to think, the more you get to put your plans together and you get your rhythm right. But when you actually running a company and you going through that process, it takes a lot more studying the numbers, P&L statements, studying the people that you're putting in place to run your operation, being able to delegate the information correctly and vigorously to the point where they understand what you're wanting them to do, and do it in a way where you're not affecting your health. Because there was a point where I was delegating where I was feeling like, you know, it was affecting my health. Like I was stressed out. Because
that's what I was just telling you about people getting ulcers and all that type of stuff. Just a perspective check. He was a fleet owner as an owner operator. You can have multiple trucks and not have your authority. So just so y'all can follow the timeline. Go ahead.
So
you was getting sick.
Yeah, during that process, you have to become a different person when you're not because you're thinking that you're telling a person, and you got to realize once again, everybody ain't you. So you're talking to people and you're like, why aren't you getting it? Why aren't you understanding what I'm trying to say or what I need you to do? And you're not realizing that this person needs this to be explained to them thoroughly. And that's what different levels and stages of operation comes in. That's where you got executives, executive assistants, like these different stages. People operate differently and they do things and conduct themselves a different way. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. Getting out the truck, when I was owner operator, while I had these trucks, somebody else was dealing with all the paperwork. I ain't know nothing about none of that. And that's what the bigger companies want to keep you discouraged and keep you away from, understanding this process. Because you have to make a full transition. You know, I didn't understand that.
Do you think it was worth it?
Absolutely. It was worth it because and don't get it twisted. I don't want to say that it was worth it because of the monetary side. It was worth it for who I became.
Right.
And what it turned me into. It turned me into a different person. You know what I mean? And now I view things differently, even my life and how I, go about my day to day, whether it's with my wife, my kids, when I'm talking to other people, I operate different.
You're a true leader. This brother, businessman, family man, coach.
Yep.
And the list goes on. Real estate, all different type of stuff. And I got a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate that, man. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got one. What was the process of, like, I'm on operator, I got a truck out now, I'm trying to get another one. The process going from, like, full payroll, from, like, not 1099 to, like, payroll, like, ADP type payroll.
Mm-hmm.
That was
W2?
the process, yeah.
It's really just making an adjustment. Now, is it something that you're trying to make an adjustment for your driver or for yourself?
Nah, I mean, either or. It's like, cause I had an issue. I was in a coma, was out, so I ain't drove since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just getting everything back up and going. I'm probably trying to go out. I'm gonna get another truck like next month, but I got mine's already out. So I'm planning on get like 2 more trucks. So I'm just trying to gauge how to effectively go from owner operator when I'm leased on. I got a freight company I'm pulling for. And but I want to go fully independent. Maybe like a year. I just want to get I want to get the whole process set up.
So what is it that you're trying to gain, like with the W-9 and W-2 situation, with comparison to you being leased on right now, and then get your own authority?
I mean, it's all just the business model. I mean, because I can still 1099 and let them get on and do their independent operator thing, and that be. I also want to find out what's cost effective, whether it's the 1099 route or will you really have a W-2 employee.
So it's different. It's different scenarios with that, and it's all going to be based off of what you got going on. The 1099 way, and this is what drew me into the industry with my father-in-law presenting it to me. He always expressed to me that one thing about trucking that I love is that it's 1099. So you're going to get all of your money.
You're going to touch it.
And you, even though Uncle Sam want his, and you got to make sure you give Uncle Sam what he want, you can still dictate the terms of how you give it to him.
Right.
When you on W-2, you're constrained, you're stuck and confined to whatever that self-employed tax is. Like, and then those deductions that's gonna come out, they're gonna come out religiously. You know what I mean? Okay. You can't escape that. So having a driver, some people make sense of putting the driver on W-2 immediately.
Yeah, but 1099, I like
so
I'm gonna show you how to.
And then ADP is a good payroll service, but you got to also be mindful that these people aren't people that's coming and knocking on your door and saying, "Hey, man, let's go hang out to drink."
Right.
These people require some money. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah.
So you got to factor that into your bottom line too. Does it make sense to put this driver on W-2? And now, not only am I paying for
and $40 a month fees and all that, right?
Paying them fees for the payroll service. Yeah. You're also now paying employment insurance and employment taxes.
Yeah, okay.
Does this make sense? And am I generating enough revenue to sustain and make sense of me doing that? Or do I leave him on 1099 and let him deal with his own taxes, but just give him a sense of direction and guide him to a tax advisor, to be able to do what he need to do and budget his stuff out accordingly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much already. I just wanted to know, what your process is, because that's where I was going at. Because you got payroll and unemployment insurance. You got all the extra things that comes into place when you start W-2.
Are you looking to eventually get back in the truck?
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in the truck probably next month.
Do you have someone that works with you or that's partnered with you or that you doing like that runs your back office and all of that?
Me straight up, I've been down for like a year. My mind is, I'm up now. I had time to get it together to get it.
So the only way I would recommend W-2 coming from that space is if you have an office staff.
Okay.
So you can still W-9 them as well, but
Yeah.
depending on their living arrangements and living conditions, it might affect them differently from the driver.
Okay.
The driver can kind of fudge it a little bit to be able to make sense of this stuff legitimately.
Yeah.
With office staff, you would probably want to switch it and go to the W-2.
Yeah, I'm not going to office maybe like 2 years.
I would recommend
I just want to
W-9.
see your process because I know you said you had office staff, invoice, payroll. I mean, I could do all that by myself because my numbers in my mind goes together real good.
Not cutting you. That's what we just was talking about becoming somebody else.
Right.
Making a transition. Get out of the sole proprietorship mindset of that you can do it and you're gonna be able to maneuver it and that you got it all together. Who can do this for me?
Right.
And who can be able to do this at a cost-effective rate and can remove me to make sense of my time better. Right. To find a way to start early.
Right.
Regain your freedom. I suffered from that and I'm still partially suffering from it. Regain your freedom, because if you dive in and you don't have that partial play put together where certain things that you learned from other people engage in, you're going to be consumed with everything happening and you're going to still have to get up every single day and think fast and how you're going to maneuver and put these things together with your day-to-day operation going on. And that shit put people, man, people be put in comas, you know what I mean, having heart attacks. And I know people that literally just dropped everything. Right. And ran from it. All together, just left everything. You know what I mean? So, it's not, you have to make the transition from a truck driver. The truck driver typically have a sole proprietorship mentality and feel like they can do everything themselves. And when you have more people working for you and you have other things going on, you got to start figuring out how to maximize your dollar with your team. Not what you can do, what they can do.